For the first time ever, I'm going to be showing you guys my entire watch collection. Now, if you're interested to know how much I actually hold in watches in terms of dollar value, stick around to the end. So before I get stuck into the really good stuff, I just want to show you some of my dailies, some of the first watches that I bought. Now these watches, even though they're not going to like rocket up in value, they're still really good to actually maintain value, and they also offer quite a lot of utility, and they're pretty much like subtle class, you know. They're not trying to be too loud, but they still give a good status statement. I'm going to start with the Datejust 41. Now this is a pretty standard watch by Rolex. Like if you're someone who wants to buy from an authorized dealer, typically speaking, this is one of the first ones that you're going to get offered, with the blue face and the diamonds, sometimes without the diamonds as well. And if you know anything about authorized dealers, you'll know that you have to start small and then build up. And the reason that is because they want to test you out. They want to see if you're actually willing to climb the ladder, buy a few watches that pretty much everyone's got before they're going to offer you the really good things. So here we have the Datejust 41 with the blue face and the diamonds as well. Now, this watch here cost around 15,000 euros, something like that. So maybe around $13,500. So it's not particularly expensive, but it's a really nice piece just to wear out and about every single day. You're not going to be too worried wearing this in somewhere like even the gym, out with your friends, whatever. It's going to get some attention. Obviously don't wear it in London, but most places you're pretty safe with this. Yeah, it's not the kind of thing people are going to want to go to jail for, but it still gives a really nice classy look. I particularly like the Jubilee bracelet as well, the Jubilee strap. I think this is a super classy strap. Goes really well with like a suit, that kind of thing as well. It's subtle, it's low profile, and yeah, if someone notices it, still gives off the right image. It's gold, white gold and stainless steel. The next watch, which funnily enough is actually the first watch I ever got offered by a Rolex authorized dealer, is the gold Daytona. This is yellow gold. I do really prefer rose gold, to be totally honest with you, but you know, when you get offered something by the AD, you just take it, because my goal is to have the big pieces later on down the line, the one that actually do really build value, and the ones that are, you know, reasonably rare. So I got offered this one by Rolex in Budapest, and this cost around 60 grand, something like that. And you can see it's a very solid watch. This is actually, believe it or not, a sports watch, which always makes me laugh, because yeah, I can't ever imagine watching this while I'm playing tennis, because obviously you can't tell this from the video, but it weighs an absolute ton. Like, it is such a heavy watch. I'm actually not sure how much it weighs, but yeah, you feel this on your wrist. Like, you wouldn't want to be swinging a tennis racket while you're wearing this. But again, it's just a really nice watch. I don't wear this one too much. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't even really like the Daytonas that much, apart from the Oyster Flex, which is the one with the rubber strap. But nevertheless, it's still a nice piece. This is the kind of watch that I'd wear if I'm going to like maybe a business meeting, something like that, because the Daytona itself, it really is a class above. Like, people recognize the Daytona as like a high value watch, a high status watch, and that kind of thing. And it's actually quite rare to get it from an AD as well, an authorized dealer. But somehow they offered it to me first time around, so I took it. So we've got 14 grand for the Datejust. And actually, another thing, I do have another one of them Datejusts, exactly the same, just with the graphite dial. But one of my friends in Bali is borrowing it just while he's there, just so we can flex a little bit. So I haven't got it with me, but we'll just rule that one out for the time being. The next one is the Cartier Roadster. Now, this isn't a particularly expensive watch. This is the solid gold version without the chronograph. This one cost me around £18,000, so let's say around $25,000, something like that. And the reason that I love these watches is because extremely good looking. Like, Cartier is obviously a fashion house. It's very rare that you find a fashion house produce really good watches, but Cartier knocks it out of the park every single time. I like this one because it has great utility. You can see I've got the solid gold strap, but I can actually take the strap off on both sides. It's got the easy release, and I can put any other straps on it I want. This looks really good with a black leather strap. It's a very classy watch. Again, this is actually considered a sports watch, but this is another one that I might wear to, like, you know, a casual drink, something like that. It's a watch that's going to get good attention. It's reasonably rare to find it in yellow gold as well, especially with the strap. Most people are doing it with just a leather strap. But yeah, it's, even though it's not valuable, it still carries quite a lot of weight, and you can see it's very standout, very classic. Now, if you're someone who actually wants to buy your first watch, I would say to you, go for a Cartier, because they're not massively expensive. Like, actually, my first ever watch was a Cartier Roadster. pretty much exactly the same as this, except it was in stainless steel and it was a chronograph. So it was slightly bigger, a little bit more bulky for my wrist. I prefer this because it sits really, really nicely on my wrist. I've actually got very small wrists, believe it or not. Yeah, it fits really well. But the good thing about this, if you're a beginner and you're someone who wants to start building your collection, you want to carry some real weight, you want to carry some presence, you want it to have a bit of class, but not break the bank. The Cartier Roadster, the first one that I ever had, it's the first watch I ever bought. It was the stainless steel chronograph and it cost me around £4,500, something like that. So it's not going to break the bank, but it's still going to carry a lot of weight and it's still a very, very classy brand to be wearing on your wrist. I actually love this watch. I don't wear it enough. The gold's just a little bit too yellow for me. It looks a little bit too bling bling. Next, we're gonna move on to my favorite daily, which is the one I'm wearing on my wrist literally right now. And that is the Day in rose gold with the presidential strap. Now this is my favorite watch. And I've got more expensive watches, of course, but this one's my favorite just for how it looks. I got it with the olive dial. You can see we have the day and the date on here as well, which you can obviously change, and the frilled bezel as well. Now everything about this watch I absolutely love. It's not really a daily watch, but I wear it every single day pretty much anyway. It's actually scratched to shit. I really need to get it polished, but just in terms of like the actual visuals for it, it goes with absolutely everything. You can wear this casually, you can wear this on to a business meeting, you can wear this on a date, even on a flight. Like this is always my go-to on a flight. People always notice it, people always call it out and say how much of a nice watch it is. It's one of them ones that not everyone has. They're not ultra rare, but not everyone's going to buy one of these. Not everyone's going to have one of these on his wrist. So it still demands attention. It still gets everyone's attention, but just because of the way it looks. And then of course this one cost me about £40,000, so about $50,000, something like that. So yeah, a really nice all-rounder. If you have 50 grand handy, I really recommend getting this watch because nothing really gets attention on the everyday kind of wear like the day right here. Yeah. Mwah, love this one. Okay guys, so we've covered a lot of these now. We've covered my dailies, and you might be thinking to yourself, Johnny, how is this going to add up to $1 million? And this is where things get a little bit interesting, because when I buy watches, I buy them for a few different reasons. Number one is because it's a better alternative to having cash in the bank. Like if you consider the fact that when you put money in the bank, the value of your money is getting less and less every single day. We've got inflation, the cost of living, and even the interest that you might get on a bank account, it's worthless compared to how much that money is losing. So for me, it's worth having it in an asset that I know that I can shift literally whenever I want. I can sell these at any point. I've got the box and papers in the UK. And the best part of this as well is that I can travel overseas with it. If I buy a brick of gold or I have, 100 grand in cash, I can't just jump on an aeroplane. Obviously, you're going to get stopped, anything over 10 grand. With these, as long as you don't have the box with you, no one cares, okay? I could have 100 watches with me right now. As long as I don't have the box and papers and it doesn't look like I'm going to sell it, I can travel with these. So I'm able to take the value over borders. And if I want to sell it later on, I just get someone in the UK to ship me the box and papers, which is perfectly fine as well. So that's reason number one. That's why I would buy watches, because it's a good asset to have. They obviously look good, it builds status, and they hold their value super well, as long as it's the right watch. Not all watches do hold their value, but you can't really go too wrong with a Rolex. Most Rolexes, even if they do lose a little bit of value, it's going to be very, very minimal. You're not going to see them drop like 50% unless it's one of the really, really top tier ones. Some of them, which are a little bit too plain and they're super expensive, they do lose their value, but typically speaking, the rare ones, they go up. The other reason, which is where I'm going to go on to my next collection right here, that I buy watches is for networking. Now, you guys know that with things like Richard Mille, for example, they're so expensive, they're so ludicrously expensive that anyone that knows about them, everyone that has one themselves, they instantly want to network with the person who has it. And if another person has this, you can know it's a really good person that you want to be speaking to in an event. So let's jump in. So first off, we have the RM055, the Bubba Watson, over here in the white ceramic. And you can have a really close-up look at that as well. The movement is insane. You have the skeleton face there as well, the skeleton dial. And this watch cost around $350,000. You can see I don't really wear it too much. This is the kind of thing that stays in the safe the whole time. This doesn't come with me to Bali. This only stays inside the safe and it only comes out when I go to Dubai. That's it. I wouldn't wear this in London. I wouldn't wear this in Asia. The only place that I would wear this is Dubai or some other safe countries in the Middle East. This watch right here, even at the F1, I went to the Monza F1 about 2 months ago, something like that. We were down in the pit, we were watching the teams do all their preparation, and one of the team members just came over just to have a look at the watch and just to like shake my hand, which was fucking mad. That's the kind of attitude that this watch it commandeers, basically. You know, you get people who see it, they want to come over to you, they want to talk to you, they want to know who you are. It is an excellent network piece. If you're someone who really wants to get into different circles, build connections, and obviously you benefit from them, having a watch like this is absolutely insane. And the next one, which is the 6702. Now, this one here is a very thin watch. It's very small. This is much better for my wrist. This one I feel like is a little bit too bulky. It kind of sits a little bit too high and it doesn't really match my vibe. Like, you guys know me, I'm a little bit old money. I like real classics. I like things to sit there and be elegant and not too kind of like in your face. But with these watches, that's what it's all about. But that's why I really like the 6702, because it's more subtle. It sits there perfectly. It wraps around your wrist, and it's kind of hard to even notice it's there half the time. But trust me, other people will notice that it's there. And you can see I've got the skeleton dial as well in the white ceramic. Now, these are ultra rare watches. It's very difficult to find them in the white ceramic. This one here cost around $430 US. So again, between these watches right here, you could buy yourself a very nice house in London, probably. Actually, in London, maybe not. You get yourself a nice apartment. But yeah, between these two, I would say this one probably gets the most attention because it's most rare. But this one is the one that catches people's eye the most because it's big, it's bulky, it stands out. They're beautiful watches. They're not to be worn every single day. You have to take very good care of them, because even the white ceramic, it can go a different, I know it sounds mad when you're spending literally hundreds of thousands on a watch, but it can even change color. It can go a little bit yellow if you don't really look after it. So keep it out of the sun, wear it on special occasions and in safe places, because anyone that sees this and thinks it's real, in a dangerous place like London, they'll cut your fucking arm off just to take it. It's worth doing. It's worth the prison time if they get caught. So that's my RMs, guys. Mwah. Beautiful. So finally we come on to my last piece, and this is one of my favorites because not only is it super rare, but it's also just a very classy old money watch. It matches my personality, my vibe, absolutely flawlessly. Again, you wouldn't wear this absolutely everywhere, but special occasions, especially if you're trying to give off a very classy old money vibe. And the next watch is the Patek Philippe, and that is the 5980 in rose gold. And you can see right here, it is an absolutely stunning watch. This cost me around 200 grand. Why do I like this watch so much? Because it is old money. It is me all over. It carries class, sophistication, and anyone that sees you wearing this, they're not going to think that you're trying to peacock like you would with an RM. They're not trying to think that you're trying to get attention. They're thinking that you've got some real style, class, sophistication, and probably a little bit of brains about you as well. It is an absolutely phenomenal watch, and it's one of my favorites. I wouldn't wear this every single day, of course, but this would be really good in not just a business meeting, but also a nice day in a really classy place. It is, yeah, it's super subtle, but it just fucking works, guys. Some things just work, and that is this. Honestly, these things scratch like you wouldn't fucking believe. Like this one here, I wear it every day. I need to get it polished like every 2-3 months, something like that. It needs to go back to Rolex for a couple of weeks. So the real money makers, the 200 grand plus watches, they stay in the box, they come out special occasions, and I am very careful, guys. No sitting on the laptop typing, no shaking hands with people with big fucking jewelry on or anything like that. Super careful, guys, all right? You got to remember, this isn't just an asset. This is your money. This is worth a lot. So protect it. Now, for me, guys, luxury watches aren't just luxury. They're leverage as well. And this might be difficult for you to understand if you're not in this particular world, but they are not just something you wear on your wrist. These are things that are going to open doors for you. They're going to make people see you in a different way. They're going to make people treat you differently as well. And I know that sounds superficial, but when you're at this kind of level in business and life, it goes every single way. One connection that you make can change your life completely. Having something like this, it opens that door, gets you into different events, different tables, different circles, everything. It is well worth starting your journey with watches and start building up. And like I said, start with that Cartier as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to enjoy this one as well, so make sure you click on it and give it a watch. And if you're interested in a little bit more about what I do to be able to kind of produce this lifestyle, in order to be able to make these videos sitting in the Lambo with these watches as well, you can check the description. You can join my free group, and it explains everything that I do for a living and how I teach people just like you to do exactly the same thing. It's a completely free group where I share all of my different ideas. I go live and I help people basically get to a stage where they can see life a little bit differently and restructure life for themselves to make things better.